Hi besties, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel, and welcome to what is one of my all-time favorite videos to make. Today I'm going to be talking about my best books of 2023. So at the time that I'm filming this, I have read 137 books, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10. So all of these books are 5 stars, and not only are they 5 stars, but they have just stuck out amongst the rest. I've had such amazing experiences with reading these books. They have become new all-time favorites, and I'm really excited to go through them with you all. I did rank them, which is so hard because a lot of these books are very different. I have different genres, just totally different stories, so it is hard to compare those books to one another. The only rankings that I feel very set on and confident on are books 1, 2, and 3. Everything else, books 10 through 4, could be rearranged completely. If I filmed this video tomorrow, I might have a different ranking for books 10 through 4. So I just want to say I absolutely love all of these books. They're all fantastic. They really stuck out to me when I was looking over everything that I have read this year, and I'm really excited to talk about them. So let's get straight into it with my top 10 books of 2023. All right, so coming in at number 10, my 10th favorite book that I read this year was Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eru. This book really sticks out to me because I remember I was in a 5-star drought when I read this book, and this one ended up getting me out of that drought. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much. It is such a solid fantasy romance. It is celestial. Our female main character has shadow powers. Our male main character has light and sun powers, and I just really love the dynamic between them. I also think this author just has really beautiful writing, really beautiful imagery, and this book was so much fun to read. I haven't picked up the sequel yet, but this book will always stick with me as a really well done fantasy romance. Definitely recommend, and I'm really excited to see what else happens in this series. It was such a joy to read this book and really what I needed at the time, so I really love this book, and it was definitely one of my best. My 9th best book of 2023 is going to be Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This was my very first Brandy Sandy, you guys. I remember I read this in January, and this was my first 5-star that was like a proper novel. I do think that I read a graphic novel earlier before this and I gave it 5 stars. But the first full-length book that I gave it 5 stars to was Warbreaker. I remember just feeling so blown away, overwhelmed by the writing style, the storytelling, the characters. Lightsong and Blushweaver live in my head rent-free to this day, and it just felt so good to pick up a Brandon Sanderson book and really enjoy it. I was definitely intimidated going into his work and I didn't know what I was gonna think, but I really connected to the story. I had so much fun with it. I really loved all of the different POVs, and yeah, this book just kind of stands out amongst everything else that I've read from him, and I really love this book. It's really special to me. All right, so I have 2 contemporary romances in my top 10, and this next one was one that I am so happy that I read because initially when this book came out, I had no interest in it, but I saw so much buzz about it, I decided to pick it up, and I am so glad that I did. Number 8 is going to be Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. So the reason why I didn't really have a ton of interest in this book before it came out was because I had read one other book by this author, and I just thought it was fine. It was a very average reading experience, 3 stars, but it didn't really stick with me or make me excited for anything else that she was coming out with. But as I said, I saw so many people just raving about Yours Truly, and I decided to give it a shot, and I read it in one sitting. I devoured this book. This book has some of, if not the best anxiety representation I have ever seen in a contemporary romance novel. Our male main character, Jacob, is a character that I think about a lot. I feel like I connected to him so much, more than a lot of other characters that I've read in other books, and I just think that the anxiety rep was handled really well. Alongside that, I just like the dynamic of our 2 main characters. I enjoyed the setting of this book. I enjoyed the banter between them. There was heart to this book as well, and I just think it was all done so well. I don't know, every single piece of this book really worked for me. It's definitely going down as one of my all-time favorite romances, and it really makes me want to pick up anything else that Abby Jimenez comes out with after this. So this book is really special to me and very deserved of the number 8 spot. All right, the next book on my top 10 is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Yellowface is so good. You guys, this book was incredible. Another book that I devoured either in one sitting or 2. Like, I got through this book so quickly. It is such a bingeable read. The writing style is very different from the other R.F. Kuang book that I've read, which is Babel, but I really just loved the writing style. It is a satire, definitely makes you think, and I also think that we got a peek at the publishing industry, which I found really amazing. There's a lot of commentary on books and the bookish community and publishing and so many other very important topics, and I just think R.F. Kuang absolutely nailed this. She is a historical and fantasy writer, so when she was coming out with with this, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh wow, this is something very different from what she has put out prior. It's one of those that I think no matter what your genre preferences are, I think that you should read this book. I think that you will be entertained. I think that you will learn a lot. I think that it will make you think. And it's just such a fast-paced and fascinating story. This book definitely sticks with me. It's a super strong 5-star and I loved it. All right, my next best book of 2023 is going to be Beautiful World, Where Are You? Sally Rooney is a god, and I really do believe that. I have given all 3 of her books 5-star ratings, and not just like, oh, 5 stars, this was really well written, loved it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel her books so much. I connect to her writing so much. Her characters are fascinating. Her character work is truly just, it's unmatched. I was a little bit nervous to go into this book, and I did put it off for a while because I had heard that it was very different from normal people in conversations with friends, and like, I guess kind of it is, but also not really. It does fit very well in the Sally Rooney literary universe. I just absolutely loved this book. Another one that I think I literally read in one sitting, which just goes to show those books really stick out to me that I simply cannot put down. And this book is no exception. It is so good, so fantastic. I need Sally Rooney to write another book because everything that she puts out, I love. All right, so we are now to our top 5, which is very exciting. So my 5th favorite book that I read this year was Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I remember so specifically when I read this book. I picked it up on my birthday, and thank God that the book that I decided to read on my birthday ended up becoming one of my all-time favorites. This book is so good. I connected to the writing and to the characters instantly. I started to tab and annotate in this book pretty quickly because I found the characters to be very relatable. I was laughing while reading this book. Talia Hibbert has this wonderful, just quick-witted humor that she puts into her writing, puts into her characters, and it just makes the book so entertaining. I really loved the setting of this book. There was some really kind of unexpected, beautiful prose in this book, and I just say unexpected because it's like a rom-com, so I don't necessarily look for that in a romance like this, but it was so well done, really beautiful, wonderful imagery. And Jacob and Eve, like, what can I say? They are such lovely characters. I was rooting for them from page 1. I loved their dynamic, the way that they met. They got off to such a rocky start, and I felt like Talia Hibbert developed their romance really well with so much humor. This book is one of my favorite romances I've ever read. I think about these characters quite often. I think they will stick with me for a long time. All right, my 4th favorite book that I read in 2023 is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I just love this book. It was so much fun. I remember when I read this book and I was doing my wrap up that month, I said that this was probably my most like fun reading experience. Like just pure fun, pure delight, pure happiness. That is what this book is. It's a really well done fantasy romance. We have reluctant allies to lovers. We have incredible found family, some of the best found family that I have ever read. And I am so excited for the next book in this series. I believe it doesn't come out until 2025 because this did get picked up by a traditional publisher. So it's gonna be a while, but I think it's gonna be well worth the wait. I am so excited to see where the series goes. It's just a book that made me so happy. It was so action packed and I really, really loved the romance. All right, so we are now to our top 3. Books 10 through 4. I loved every single one. The order, as I said in the beginning, would probably be different depending on when you asked me, but I feel very confident about this top 3. So this is like solidified. These are my 3 best books that I read in 2023. So my 3rd best book is The Ashes and the Starcurse King by Carissa Broadbent. I loved this book so much. This was my most anticipated read of 2023 and it did not disappoint. Araya and Rain are some of my all-time favorite fantasy romance characters. I think that Carissa Broadbent's world building in this book and also in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, just the entire series is so fantastic. Truly just such a perfect, well done vampire fantasy romance. I felt that this was such a gratifying conclusion to Araya and Rain's story. I am so excited to see where else we go in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, but Araya and Rain, I'm definitely going to miss them, and reading this book was just so much fun. I also specifically remember thinking while I was reading it, I cannot wait to reread this book. So if that does not say that I loved this book, I don't know what will, but I just think that Carissa Broadbent is an incredible fantasy romance author. She is one of my absolute favorites. I will pick up anything that she puts out in the future, and this book just sticks out so strongly in my mind, and I loved it. All right, so my 2nd favorite book that I read in 2023, runner-up for my fave, has to be Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. This book ruined my life. Truly, this book, oh my god, every time I try to talk about the Greenbone Saga, I can't. I read this a few months ago and can't stop thinking about it. It is one of the most incredible conclusions that I have ever read. I think Fonda Lee is a genius. Her characters are everything to me. Her character work as well is just like, it's so well done. There is so much going on in the Greenbone saga. There are so many plot lines, and yet she still grips you with her characters. It's this amazing balance of a very character-driven story, but also very plot-driven. I don't know. It's a perfect series. Perfect. I have no notes. I will hear no critique. And Jade Legacy was incredible. Like, I loved this finale. I cried multiple times. I was so happy and then so sad throughout this entire book. I will say I almost put Jade War on my top 10 books as well, but I didn't want to put two books in the same series in my top 10 list because I was like, I should probably branch out and pick another book to put on this list. But I will say, like, low-key Jade War is in my top 10 because that was really fantastic as well, and I read that a few months before I read this. But I decided to pick Jade Legacy because it is such an epic finale. I love this book so much. Oh my god. These characters have just like ruined me in the best way, and this book is perfect. All right, you guys, we have made it. My #1 favorite book of 2023. I have a feeling you probably know what it is because I talked about it like 700 times this year, but my favorite book that I read in 2023 is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I cannot believe that my best book of the year came from me doing a reading vlog challenge where I read books out of my comfort zone. That is why I picked this book up. I was like, I'm gonna step away from fantasy and fantasy romance. I'm gonna read some different books, some books that I might not normally be drawn to, and I was drawn to one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. I love Andy Weir's writing so much. He is so funny. He creates so much heart with his characters, but then also creates these amazingly complex plot lines, and they're just so full of action and adventure, and I had so much fun reading this book. I love these characters. You guys know, I have said a million times, I will always die for Rocky. He is everything to me, and I loved seeing the friendship dynamic that blossomed in this book. Truly so well done, truly just such a joyous book. This book, and particularly the audiobook, is such a memorable reading experience for me, and I will truly think about this book forever. I definitely want to reread this book like for the rest of my life. It is the book that I think I push on the most people. Like, once again, I don't care what your reading tastes are. Please listen to the audiobook for Project Hail Mary and live your best life. This book has really bewitched me body and soul. I just think that this is, like, once again, such a perfect book, so much fun, such an amazing reading experience. This book is why I love being a reader. This book really represents that for me and is 100% my best book of 2023. All right, my friends, so that is it. Those are my top 10 best books of 2023. I had so much fun talking about them and reminiscing on them. I would love to hear what is your best book of 2023. Give me like your top 3. I definitely want to know. I feel like 2023 for me was a good reading year, but not like fantastic. I did, of course, walk away with some amazing 5-star reads, but I think overall my year was like decent, I will say. I definitely want 2024 to be even better. I want more 5 stars. I want more incredible, memorable reading experiences, and I really think that I'm gonna have them. So I did want to let you guys know that this is going to be my last video of 2023. I'm going to be taking a break for the rest of the year as we have holiday season coming up and the end of the year and all that, but I will be back in action starting in January. I also just wanted to talk about, there are a few videos that I wanted to do in December, but December ended up, I mean, so far, it's kind of been like a rough month for me, and so I am going to be making those videos in January, which I'll talk about in a second, but I just ended up dealing with just kind of like an unexpected medical issue throughout all of December thus far. I have been sick on and off. I have been completely drained, just a lot of unknown things going on, and it's just really taken a toll on me. So I have not had the energy or desire to sit down and be on camera a lot because I just haven't felt good. You know, it's been a little bit of a rough month, but I will say, like, I'm fine. Things are on the up and up, and like everything's fine. I've just had an unexpected kind of just crappy month with my health, and obviously, like, that's the most important thing, and if I'm not feeling good, it's gonna show on camera. So I do intend to film a few videos that I probably would have put out in December and January, but I feel like that's fine because they are kind of looking back at my year in review, and December is still technically a part of 2023, so I think it's no problem to do them in January. #1, I am going to be tier ranking every single fantasy romance that I read in 2023, which I'm very excited about. I did this video last year and it was so much fun. I feel like it was my favorite video that I made last year. Creatively, it was just like such a fun video to make, and I did rank them using Taylor Swift songs, which I will absolutely be doing again. So look out for that. That will be coming in January. And then I also wanted to ask you guys, I was contemplating kind of reviewing my 23 books to read in 2023 TBR video. Would you guys want to see that? I think it'd be kind of fun to look back on what my plans for 2023 were. Did I read those books? And if I did, what did I think about them? So I think that would be really fun. Let me know if you guys would like to see something like that from me. I think that that would be a fun video to do in January. As a whole, 2023 ended up being a pretty good year for me. There were definitely highs and there were definitely lows, but can I just say, once again, I've already talked about this multiple times, I'm so excited for 2024, you guys. Like, I feel super motivated, very excited. I just feel like the new year really does breathe new life into me, and I'm really excited about it. I have a lot of fun content plans, and I just feel like the year is gonna be really great in general. I am traveling a lot. I will hopefully see my booktube besties in 2024. Sean and I are going to Europe, which I'm very excited about that. I have family getting married. I have a new baby niece on the way who's coming in 2024, and I just feel like it's gonna be an amazing year. I don't know, 2023 was like fine, but I do feel very hopeful and very optimistic about the new year, and especially when it comes to my content and with reading. I just have a lot of plans that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you all, and I just want this space in 2024 to be about fun, to be about happiness, to be about joy, and that is for myself and also for you guys. So thank you so much for being here this year, for liking, commenting, subscribing, just watching. I cannot say how much it means to me. The support that you guys have given me is everything. It's really hard to put into words, but I am so eternally grateful to you all. I just love you guys a lot, and I hope that you have an amazing end of your year. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you're not celebrating a holiday at the end of December, I hope that you are just relaxing and having a very nice, cozy end of the year. And I really appreciate that you guys watched this video. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys next year.